Alright, I'm Mrs. Rutan, and you guys are starting your independent study with me for AP Literature and Composition. As you can see, this is a very awkward YouTube video that you guys are going to be watching quite often to get notes, lecture points, and directions for the day-to-day activities. I won't do this every day, but I'm probably going to do this often as a good way for me to instruct you guys and also help you guys get through the different material that we're going to do. So, what we're going to do today is actually we're going to put the syllabus off for tomorrow because today I want to talk about expectations for you guys in the independent study and also talk about analysis, which is going to be a huge part of our class and an everyday kind of mindset that you're going to need for AP Literature. So first off, what can you guys expect because you are doing the independent study instead of the mini block? So my notes are over here. That's why I'm going to keep looking off on the distance. So you guys should have a handout, and that handout's going to outline the independent study expectations and also kind of help you guys share this with parents if you need to so they know what this is going to look like. But first and foremost, this is kind of an experiment. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. It's going to be interesting to see how it flows. But ultimately, I want you guys to look at some of the ways I plan to teach you. The most important methods I'm going to be using first is this YouTube clips of myself giving lecture notes and directions. The second thing I'm going to use is voice recorders. I don't have them yet, but I will. And basically, they are what they sound. They're voice recorders. You put it down, you push record, and it's going to record you guys talking and discussing and kind of create a dialogue between you and I, even though technically we can't always have that dialogue because I'm teaching my other students during the same block that you guys are in. And eChalk is going to be huge. eChalk, you need to make sure that you're on your eChalk account. You're going to need to make sure that you know how to navigate through eChalk, but I'll post PowerPoints for you guys to follow along when need be. And the eChalk page will be the same as the mini block. You guys will all be in the same group, and those PowerPoints will be a way for you to guide through different activities as well. So those are the three big things I'm going to make you guys look to. Voice recorders, YouTube clips, and eChalk. Any questions, write them down, put them on a sticky note, feel free, and I will definitely answer them before the end of today or by tomorrow morning when you guys come back. Now, what can you guys expect? I don't know if you guys have done independent study before. I've never taught independent study either, so like I said, we're newbies, maybe both ways here. Every day you need to come to my room by second hour. Don't be tardy because you can get marked as tardy. Now you guys only have to stay here for 40 minutes. Now after that 40 minutes, you guys are welcome to continue to stay and use that time to work on the homework I'm giving you, or you guys could use that time to go down to the guidance office, but you need to realize 40 minutes is with me. 40 minutes is dedicated to the activities. But if you want more time, feel free to stay. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you want to work in the back of my room. Alright, in fact, I might like it because then I could talk to you guys a little bit more. Now, more often than not, I'm going to make you guys go to Mr. Herlardis' room to do those 40 minutes because in my room, I'm going to be teaching. It could be distracting. It might not be easy for you guys to listen to the YouTube videos because they're noisy, or it might not be easy for you guys to have discussion. So Mr. Herlardis' room is the go-to place for the quiet space because he doesn't have a class. He's got planning. But as you guys understand, the rules are be respectful of his space, be respectful of his materials, be respectful of him if he's in there. And you need to be productive in doing what I'm asking you to do. I don't have those worries, but just to make sure you guys know, independent study, you're independent, and I can't watch you every moment. And I don't necessarily need to watch you every moment because you guys do have a good work ethic. Now, there's also going to be days where you're going to be in my room because I want a conference with you and I want to talk to you. So when I'm teaching creative writing, we have workshop time. We're going to have workshop time in AP as well, which is just, working time on whatever is assigned. So I might be coming to you and I might be asking you, okay, tell me what you're thinking about Foster. Tell me what you're thinking about this poem. What are questions you have about your first draft? Now, my last and most biggest concern is that I don't want you guys to feel isolated. I don't want you to think that you are stuck in the corner and you don't have an opportunity to talk to me. Talk to me when you need help. but use good judgment. If I'm in the middle of lecturing, probably not a good time to interrupt me. However, if you have questions, sticky notes are fantastic. Write your questions on a sticky note and then try to get my attention a few minutes later. But I want to have a dialogue with you, which is why I'm trying the YouTube. I'm going to try voice recorders and things like that. I don't want to isolate you guys. That's my exact opposite thing that I want to do. So do not isolate yourself and don't feel isolated. Make sure you come to me with help. Any questions about the expectations, write them down and we can talk. Now I want to get into the main lesson for today, which is analysis. Now you guys read over the summer, you read 2 pieces of literature, The Book Thief and Oedipus the King. Oedipus Rex is what I call it mostly. So what I want to talk to you guys about is analysis and the mindset of analysis, because it's huge for this class. It's something you're going to have to do every single day. It's also something that you're going to have to write in. It's a method that you're going to have to write and view literature. And it's something that you're going to definitely need for the AP Lit test. So what is analysis? What I need you guys to do is get out a scrap paper, because each of you is going to be writing different things as I tell you. I'm going to be telling you to pause, and you're going to pause the YouTube video and do the activity and then start playing this again, so we can kind of have an interactive lesson a little bit. Also, one thing I am excited for is the fact that all 3 of you guys are together, because you can talk to each other. It's not so much of an independent study, is kind of a collaborative study. It's just in a very small group. So what I need you to do on a piece of paper, put your name on it, because you will turn this in, because I want to read it. I'd like you guys to answer this question. What do I mean when I say analysis? What does that word mean? What does analysis look like? What is it? So on a piece of paper, you're going to quick write for a couple minutes. I'd say no more than 2 minutes, but what is analysis? Or what does the word analysis mean? You're going to write. You're not talking to each other, you're just trying this on your own. So right now, I'd say pause YouTube, and I want you to write, what is analysis? Go. Alright, so you should have written something down. Now the next step is to share. Sharing is really important, alright? If you kind of stay in your little bubble and you don't talk through literature, sometimes you can have misinterpretations. So you're going to share a lot, which is why there's 3 of you all together. So what I want you guys to do is share what you wrote down for analysis. And I'd say whoever is the oldest can go first, then the second oldest, and then the baby of the group. So right now, you're going to share what you wrote down. I'd like you to pause. Go. So hopefully you guys shared, and hopefully these are some of the things you came up with. The biggest thing about analysis is why. Why? That's kind of the code word. So if I'm asking for you to do an analysis of a passage, you're going to look at why. And it's on many different levels, and that goes with this chart right here that you guys will see. Now the chart is actually 2 pages. One page has got this little picture of a fox. The second page has got more fonts in the middle. So this chart is going to push you in the why, because why is actually multidimensional. That's one of the reasons why AP Literature can be so hard for kids, because you're not just thinking one way, you're thinking in a lot of different ways. It's like intellectual multitasking in the literary scope. So why? Why did the author do this? And a lot of people start off thinking like, why did the author use this word? Why did the author write it as a play instead of a short story? Why did the author decide to make this character die but this character live? Those are all analysis questions, and you got to pick it apart. Now, analysis is not necessarily an absolute right answer. As long as you have evidence to prove it, you should be fine. So for instance, if you want to argue that Oedipus Rex blinded himself because he was blind to the truth when he did have sight, that's a great claim, but you got to prove it. So you use text to prove it. So when he's talking to the prophet and the prophet says, dude, you're the killer, and he still can't see it, that's a good way to push the why and also push the claim and push your evidence, which is another thing you're going to have to get into the habit of. Every single response you give me must have quotes and cited evidence. If you don't do that, you're going to fall into the summary trap, which is what usually happens. People do analysis or they do summary. Now you're going to need summary, but the analysis should be the bigger part of it. Now summary is more like what is going on. So for instance, in The Book Thief, what's going on. Liesel is moving into a new home because she's being foster cared. She's living in Germany. She can't read. She learns how to read. Those are all what? They're summary points. And you got to be careful because a lot of your people who you're writing to know the literature. Don't make them feel dumb by summarizing everything. So analysis is why. Why? Why are they doing this? Why did Sophocles choose to kill Jocasta completely but leave Oedipus alive? Why did Susak decide to kill off Rudy? Saddest part of the book. Come on. Did you not cry? Because I cried. Why did he choose to kill Rudy, and not let Rudy live? Like, why? And that's what I like about the literature stuff. Hopefully you do too. So analysis is why. Now, analysis can include a little bit of summary because sometimes you got to set up your argument, but it should not just be puking up the plot over and over again. That's very boring, and that's very low level when it comes to English, and that's why you're in AP, because you're doing analysis and the why. So what we're going to do is look at this chart, and you guys are going to take a couple notes because there's some words on here that are confusing and unclear. So I'm going to put this up here. What I'd like you guys to do is look at the front page for me. And what I need you guys to do is get a pen or a pencil, and I'd like you to kind of read through this and write some reactions. Now, I'm not giving you any answers here, but I want you just to kind of take the text in on your own independently and kind of annotate. Now, remember, annotations can go two ways. Annotations can be like hokey, stupid little things like, audience, I like being an audience at the Lady Gaga concert. Like, that's not a good annotation, alright? Annotations need to be kind of deeper. So, rhetorical makes me think of rhetoric and communication or something like that. You need to push your annotations so they are deeper, more thoughtful. But I'd like you to go through, and basically the best way to annotate would be to mark up what you do know or you do understand. Because I know there's some things on this chart that you might not know yet. So things that you do know and you do understand, I would make comments, or I would circle, I would star, I would highlight. So what I want you to do, this will be about 3 to 4 minutes, you need to pause and you need to annotate things that you do know. So go. Alright, so hopefully you guys annotated. Same procedure. You're always got to share. So next step is to kind of share and work through things that you do or don't know. I don't want you to talk more than a minute each.